Hello and welcome to the last round of the 2020 Waco Annual Charity Open presented by Prodigy Disc. We have a shortened event due to the coronavirus, and this is the back nine of the second round. We've got lead group, we've got Big Julie commentary, Jeremy Koling, joined by Paul Ulibarri. And as we look to the front nine here, McBeth has widened his lead on this card, but he is being trailed only by a couple strokes, as you can see right there with Philo Brathwaite, Colton Montgomery, Austin Hoop, James Conrad. Really no one from this card in the picture. We got Paul Ulibarri in the screen, Nathan Queen, Grady Shue, a whole bunch of people right there waiting for Paul to make any sort of slip up. See what happens on these final 9 holes. Get into the action right here. Hole 10, par 4, 591 feet. The play is going to be something like a straight fairway driver, maybe even a distance driver. The only real trouble, obviously, is connecting any early tree, or if you throw a driver and you skip left off the fairway, your approach is very difficult to the pin.
And McBeth's actually in a unique situation here to where none of his card mates are really that close to him. Mm-hmm. I've been in this situation myself. I'm sure you have as well. It's hard to find the motivation to kind of keep the pedal to the, I don't know, just kind of it's not a situation you find yourself in quite that often.
Sure. And when that's the case and you know that you're playing okay, but you've left a little bit of room for others to make that, to make up strokes from chase cards in such a tight event where there is only 2 rounds, you've got to imagine that he's looking at his phone as he stripes this right down the fairway. If this skips, it might not be great, but no, that's actually fantastic. He's going to love that. But do you think he's looking at his phone? Do you think he's paying attention to what's going on?
Yeah, I do. I think McBeth is a score watcher for sure, as am myself. And some people don't like watching or looking at the scores, but I always like to know where I'm sitting in the tournament, especially down the stretch, kind of later in the rounds.
Garrett almost just blasting one way down the fairway, unfortunately connecting on the tree. He'll have a lot more left than he would like, I'm sure. Eric having to just a forehand and get as far up the fairway as he can. Really didn't have a chance to attack the green for a birdie.
And that one just doesn't turn over, but it actually kind of squeaks through to about 45 feet or something like that. One of these guys has got to start making a move if they want to, put any sort of pressure on Paul down the stretch here.
And it's not always, obviously we're always interested in who's going to win the event. Win, win, win. That's what we talk about. But this is a tour, and although this tour is going to be shortened now for the foreseeable future, we don't really know when action is going to resume. The schedule at this point, as Paul throws his zone, Anheuser inside the circle, is to resume play after the end of April. But we really don't know when this whole epidemic is going to pass. So anyhow, you want to finish as well as you can up the leaderboard, so they didn't make a move on the field, not just towards McBeth.
Sure.
Oh, and Matt giving it the full lunge, and it's going to leave him a challenging putt for the par. Actually, McBeth does come a bit short, and I don't know how that did not stay in. Just a bit low, but my goodness.
It sounded weird and everything.
Yeah, I think that this isn't a knock on these baskets, but I think it might have been one of those tight chain assembly on the inside of the chains issue that we had a little bit of in the first round. And that made a strange sound too.
That's because he hit the front of the cage and then kind of clanked around and then maybe tried to do a backflip right there. Caught nicely.
You could see right there that those inner chains did not really collapse to the pole, and that is the one time that these baskets. I like these baskets a lot. I think they're actually really great targets.
Shout out to Eric Oakley, who made the basket sound pretty good right there.
Yes, he did. And we have got a couple of pars, and I really didn't mean to make that into a soapbox about baskets. It's just I think that could have been played into that putt. But anyhow, moving on. Hole 11, par 3, 279 feet. Again, this is just like a couple of those earlier par threes on the front nine where it's just a super tight, very specific tee shot where you just want to bank it into this low hill here, skip up to the green, and just call it a day. But unfortunately, there's a lot of trees.
Yeah, a lot of people I've seen try to play it kind of to the right and get up on top of that embankment. But once you do that, then you have a very difficult putt with sort of a high rise with an extreme downslope up behind the basket. It's super difficult.
And that's about as tough as you're going to find a spot inside circle 2 for Matt Bell.
Don't do it.
Oh. I don't know if that hit Kevin, our catch cam guy, or not, but
Don't do it. Okay, fine, do it. It's fine.
And that was a beautiful looking throw from Eric, just barely off. And you can see Paul's calling turn, and he's trying to get up there on the flat. If you don't hit that initial gap right there in front of you, drifting off to the right is the next best thing. That is so beautiful. Rock 3 from Garrett. Unfortunately, didn't slide up the hill to park job. He's going to have to work a little bit for the birdie from 25 feet. Oh, that is a rare sit when you hit the front cage on that hill.
Yeah, nice layout for it. I mean, did everything right. Just needed it a little higher. Oh, no.
And Paul sits. Again, that's fortunate as well, especially because it kicked down to the left a little bit. Oh, no. And he'll have less obstruction in front of his face, but I believe it's a little bit further than the birdie putt. Able to take his time and focus.
There we go. There's a bird. Nice job, Garrett. Couple rare missed putts in the circle from Paul.
Yeah, and you know he's definitely feeling the pressure there, having a couple of opportunities to extend that lead and missing that. That is opening the door for the field. Hole 12, par 4. And, we talk about the hole 9 being a par 4, used to being par 5, now it's a par 4. This one also is par 5, turned into a par 4. And between the two of them, I feel like it is a par 9, but neither one of them are truly par 5s. Do you know what I mean by that? Yeah.
I do. I personally like the change. I thought that they were really soft par 5s.
Yeah,
and
they
turned
were.
Into a better par 4.
Man, that is such a beautiful Anheuser. One of the tougher shots to throw on this hole. You have to get it down early, otherwise it will fade back into the woods on the left. And that is the problem. A little bit too high speed. He had a great turn on the disc. Just reached the back edge of the fairway before it could turn down. This is a little wide. If that's stable enough, oh, and it is. It skips up. Left side of the fairway, not a bad shot.
Kind of like a little duff skip.
Yeah, it didn't really skip forward, did it? Oh, speaking of duff skip, I think he connected on some kind of root or something. I think Paul will be a little bit surprised to see that his disc is not about 40 feet further than that.
Now he's going buzz. Turnover. This is such a tight line, man.
Oh, my word. That is so good from back there.
And
Great effort.
Yeah, he caught a little bit of the limb right there. Otherwise, that might have even been, 30 feet closer or so. 20 feet closer. We'll never know.
Yeah. Matt is in jail. This is where you see the big numbers accumulate on this hole. Once somebody gets off the fairway, you've got to do something tricky to try to make your way down, and that's usually where you see the big numbers, the 5s, 6s, and 7s come into play. Oh, I love this.
Let's go.
Oh, I love the shot, but he is not going to like his upcoming putt for the big, rare 3.
Oh, look at this. Oh, he catches the last tree. That was looking so good. Great height, great angle, and then just one of the one trees you got to miss. Actually, very impressive for him to do what he just did. He had almost no arm swing, all wrist, great angle, great scramble.
Yeah, he's going to pick up the par. Garrett giving that a healthy run. Fairly short putt left, and Paul's got, I'd say, 45, 50 feet. Actually, a little bit more than that. Back edge of circle 2. Oh, and just off again. And that technically is a birdie putt. You never feel bad with a 4 on this hole. Yeah.
So tough from there.
Mm-hmm. And it's looking like we're going to have a bunch of pars on this 12th hole, which is really not a bad score at all.
With the FX, it fits a spot in between the F and the H. I wanted something that was torque resistant and it had a little bit of finish on the end. It's a very usable disc all around.
I'm kind of with Nate on this. I don't want to call out things like that, but when Yeti's running beside the drone, I mean, come on, are we just going to not say something about that? It's just...
He's fast still.
He's very quick. Former college football player. University of Northern Iowa, I believe. UNI. Hole 13 is a par 4. And this one is slightly... This is attackable. At this range, 555 feet, I've seen air shots get down there. Garrett, no, that's going to kick out of bounds.
And that was, that 3 inches right there was the difference between probably being in the circle's edge, to right around out of bounds where he went.
Yeah, that is a bad break for Garrett. Well, I mean, he threw it there. He hit that tree, but, man, he was so close to perfection. As Eric has just taken the biggest sidearm gap there is, just playing the hyzer out and around. That's a great tee shot.
That was really far.
Mm-hmm. And this is the easiest hole on the course. This is averaging 3.39. Almost a must get. Really, at this opportunity here with only a few holes left in the event, this is a hole every one of these players is looking to pick up. And unfortunately, Garrett will not be. But Paul really mashing that well down the fairway. And, oh, that was the tree direction of a century. Matt looking like he was going to miss the mandatory, just barely nicking a little bit of the limbs and redirecting the flight path around the mandatory. Oh, my goodness, no.
Well, at least he didn't kick out of bounds again. I mean, yeah, but anyways, nobody wants to hear that.
No, yeah, you're right about that, but, man, and he's left himself a long putt for the 5. This could be really bad for Garrett. Not a hole you'd ever think a player like Garrett would take a double bogey. Hopefully he can make that. And look at that approach from Matt Bell. Connecting low pole, he'll have a tap in for birdie.
Yeah, he got a couple good breaks on that, I feel like.
Yes, you're right about that. Eric's going to have a very short putt left for the birdie as well.
Paul's putting.
It's such a sick drive. And as we approach the green, Garrett's putt for the 5 is out, and that is going to be a 6. That really ends Garrett's run at any chance at top 5, most likely.
There's a good putt from Eric right there. from the first couple putts of the round, if you watch the first round, he's really made a nice correction, and he's kind of hitting center.
Matt's in on the left side of the chains, meaning he threw the disc 3 times, and he got a birdie. You know what? We're just going to say he's got a birdie. But Colton Montgomery, however, he didn't get a birdie on this hole. He got an eagle, connected a huge putt from outside circle 2 for the huge 2. And he's actually one of the closest chasers we have right now to Paul. He's putting together a great round. Hole 14, par 3, the triple mandatory. Really just got to miss those first set of trees right there. And then one of the easiest holes on the course. 303 feet, I believe. It's actually the 3rd easiest hole, averaging 2.5. Eric going with a felon. That is just beautiful. And is Paul? Is that a zone?
Yeah, that's zone.
So there's a tailwind here. Matt throwing the skip and hitting that last tree. I don't think that had enough skip to really be in danger of going out of bounds.
I think the tree kind of hurt him, honestly. I think he would have been closer without the tree.
And Garrett going with this trusty rock 3. So important for him to bounce back after that costly double bogey. Man.
That tree's doing work. It's like, no, not today, not you either.
He's a lone soldier out there battling the birdies. Matt has something to say about it.
Yeah,
though.
he says, yeah, actually today.
Yeah, today I will have my birdie. And that is classic Matt Bell form right there. The little hop. Dead center. Don't know who's waving at. There's no spectators today. And Garrett just not having his day now at this point. I believe he's even par for the round. Eric, however, he's putting together a pretty solid round.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple birdies in a row now, and McBeth, he's at 6 under for the round. Just that one bogey on hole 3. The rest of the round has been clean. A couple of missed putts, but he's still doing what he has to do as the leader in the event. Not making any big mistakes. Make just enough putts to make everyone else make the attack. Hole 15, par 4, 558 feet. You obviously can see the out of bounds on the right side with the walking path and the left side with the road. And this center section is completely safe. It's just all about, do you want to get aggressive here and try to attack for the 2? If not, it's most likely just going to be a sidearm checkup shot, maybe a fairway driver just to keep you in bounds, and then pitch up and take a relatively easy 3.
That's about as good as you can throw it, honestly.
And ringing it up he did as he improbably hit. Is that a word, improbably? I need Nate for this. Maybe you can help me.
Wow, thanks. I'm going to tell you that it is not a word. It's improbable.
Oh, man. That was wrong of me, dude. But you put me in that place.
I got you, dude.
Paul going with a Luna, laying up. He's on the left side of the fairway. That's a good spot to be. And Matt Bell.
That's going to be improbably right in the middle of the fairway.
That's fair. That is fair. Garrett, this is a great time to be aggressive with a slight tailwind. He's going with the Emperor, and he's got this looking so beautiful. A little bit of turn. Oh, my goodness. Okay, last week, or at the Memorial, we talked about a bounce back percentage. One thing that I would actually like to see, if I could ask for one more thing, it is I want to see the one hole that no one else birdies, And Garrett's always that guy that gets that one birdie that almost no one else in the field gets. If there's some way to like formulate the improbable birdies, you can call it the improbablies if you'd like.
He does have a unique skill set of being able to throw it really far, really accurate.
It's almost like his touch improves at that 550 range.
Right.
And McBeth just parks that with his own. He'll have another birdie.
Kind of got a little poof skip there. We'll see if he can get the right at circle's edge.
And that is a good birdie to pick up. That was not the approach he was looking for. Still able to connect on the putt from 32 feet.
He's got 3 in a row.
And that's a turkey, folks. Matt also with a turkey. This stretch is one of the most important stretches to pick up birdies on this course. One of the easiest stretch of 4 holes you're going to have. All tailwinds. And Garrett picking up the Eagle 2. And
so this is one of the only holes where you actually had a gallery because we did have a fence line.
Yeah, and there's a star frame for the group. There is $25 to edge, but continue what you're saying.
Oh, no, there's a fence line there, and the spectators were able to watch at a...
Right, exactly, on the other side of the fence,
Right.
exactly. Hole 16, this is another attackable par 4 at this distance with the tailwind, the last of the easy-ish holes as we go easiest hole in the course, second easiest hole, third easiest hole in the course, all in this stretch here, all with tailwinds. Garrett has all the distance in the world to get there. It's just a matter of keeping the disc low.
So he didn't keep it low.
Yeah. And with them moving the basket back about 40 feet this year, it got even harder to get. And this was a hole in the past that Garrett has parked in the air. Another one of those improbable birdies. It was flirting.
All right, cool.
And that is a great skip. A good tee shot for Eric as well.
Definitely flirting with the OB, but the OB was like, I don't want anything to do with you.
Nope. They are not in a mutually exclusive relationship. Not this time. And Paul rips that. That is in a great spot. And that's a bit short. That's going to leave a little bit of a challenging approach with the low ceiling. Not quite getting over enough on the putter. That's going to be a really tough putt from 30 odd feet or so. Right to left to an elevated basket.
And that approach is going to be leaving a bit to be desired as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, I believe it is at this point we know, as Paul hits the base there with his zone, we know that Colton Montgomery has come in to the clubhouse at 20 under par with a fire 13 under. So at this point, from chase card, Colton Montgomery is actually in the lead as we see missed putts from Garrett and Matt Bell. Again,
These high rises, man.
these high rises are just really playing a big part, and Garrett with a great comeback putt into the headwind. But those pars aren't as much on the putt as they were the approaches. So with McBeth walking up here to tap in his birdie, he's going to get to 19 under, meaning he's got to birdie either 17 or 18. And 18 being a par 3, you really are going to want to get that work done on 17 because 18 is a very difficult birdie to get in these conditions.
It's always scary. Said it. I said it.
And let's check in with Paul Ulibarri for a hole breakdown on hole 17.
I'm Paul Ulibarri with today's hole breakdown. I'm sitting here at hole 17, par 4, 640 feet. With out of bounds right and out of bounds left, pushing you to a few well-placed trees in the middle of the fairway, that leaves sidearm as your best option. After landing here safely, you still have a lot of work to do. With sidearm and backhand turnover traveling over water and spike hyzer traveling over OB the entire way, every option brings danger. I'm down here on the green. With out of bounds hugging both sides of circle 1, that makes this one of the smaller, more difficult greens on the entire course. Let's see how it plays out.
And this is, oh my gosh, has Eric gone OB long? That is not something you see very often. Eric obliterated that shot.
Yeah, that was incredible. Low off the ground, all the way over the hill, and that's a stiff headwind.
I was about to call that perfect, but man, he's just out-thrown. And Paul has thrown a good tee shot.
I'd say that's perfect right there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd like to have another 25 to 30 feet longer than that. But that might be the spot where he's laying up to.
And this is such a difficult backhand. Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, that is special. That was such a sick shot. Matt going in the inside line.
Needs help.
Yeah, that is too inside. That is going to be out of bounds with a really awful angle. But he somehow managed to get up and over, and what a great approach. Don't do that.
Oh, no. That was such a good shot
that is
from there.
an awful break there. That just did the exact opposite thing it should do. Bouncing back. You do see it quite often, but man, that was such a good shot from Matt from that weird angle. Paul needs this. He does not like it, and I think this could be in danger of going out of bounds. Oh, it does hit that wall, but that's going to be...
Right around 40 feet, probably.
Oh, and putting right back at the water. Now, if he misses that putt, he's kind of forced to go for that putt, regardless of how much he'd like to or not. He's going to have a headwind as Garrett... He's errant with his approach. He's out of bounds, and that's an unfortunate waste of a beautiful drive. If Paul somehow misses that putt and goes on OB, that ends his chances. The tournament will be over, and Colton will have won. He knows exactly how important that is.
He's checking the wind right there. He knows he didn't get it high enough. Maybe he was expecting a little lift, but either way, you can't give the basket away, and that was just too low.
Oh,
we're so accustomed to him making those putts. It's so surprising when he misses, but
now he knows what he has to do on the final hole. As Eric misses on his par attempt, as did Garrett. Matt does connect on a 5 with a really unfortunate break with the way that the disc reacted off the ground.
Yeah, tough to take a 5 with 2 OBs there, honestly. It was a good putt. It was a good second shot, but looks like we're going to have 3 bogeys and 1 par.
And here we are, the final hole of the event. We know what Paul has to do. Par 3, 468 feet carry across the water. With that basket being perched on the top of that mound, it is so difficult to attack. We've had a headwind all week, and it is not an easy task to trust your overstable disc to get this distance. Let's see what we've got. Well, we're not worried about confidence boosting right now. We're a little worried about you having to birdie this one hole into a stiff headwind 468 feet away. Oh, and that has turned over. It's safe. He will have a second chance, but I mean, that's going to be a prayer.
Yeah, you can see by his reaction that, honestly, I don't know if he could have put it on the right angle to get over. The wind was gusting so fast right there that it would have just been an incredible shot to get it within putting distance.
And Eric, and this has turned over. Oh, this is going to be out of bounds early.
And not learning much from McBeth's tee shot. He makes the same mistake. Now, this guy does have the power to stable up and get over.
And with this much headwind, you have to go stable. And Garrett's drifting right. Slow down maybe even? Oh, beautiful shot right there at circle's edge.
That's so far.
Yeah, 468, that's requiring 600 feet of power into this headwind.
Yes, it is.
And Matt staying true to the game plan. Playing the hyzer, that needs to get down, and it does, and it rolls a little bit further down the hill as well. But that is such a scary approach from back there. This looks pretty nice. Oh, that's a great touch from Matt. Beautiful execution. That's beautiful touch again. Well done from Eric, but this is what it all comes down to, folks. McBeth is lining up the zone. He has to throw it in.
Really didn't ever have the height to do it, but he definitely, you can tell he was definitely trying to make it. He definitely went past.
And that's all she wrote as far as the winner goes. We know at this point, as Garrett is off the top, this is just a formality. McBeth really not going through the motions, but it doesn't really matter for him. He's still locked up second place. Garrett in for the par, but we have got another chase card champion at another Pro Tour event, a trend that really started getting hot last year, and it's continued into 2020, and it's just no surprise as the tour continues to bring more players out of the woodworks. And just, not that Colton's coming out of the woodworks. He's been on tour for many seasons now, and he's a great player, but a 1,012 rated player winning a Disc Golf Pro Tour event is just showing how talented the field is.
Oh, sure. Congratulations to Colton. Going down the stretch, shooting 9 under, I believe it was, on the back 9.
With 2 eagles. He had a stretch where he went eagle, birdie, eagle on 13, 14, 15, and he will be your Waco Annual Charity Open champion as McBeth comes up short just barely. And look at that fire emoji, 13 under round. Cale LaVisca third place, James Conrad, and a slew of other familiar names on that top 10, yourself included. 5th place, congratulations to Paul. We are going to have to bid you guys a sorrowful goodbye as we don't really know when we'll be back. And we hope that we can figure out what's going on with this virus and nip it at the bud and get back to you. But best case scenario, we'll be back for the Santa Cruz for the Masters Cup come May. For Big Julie commentary and the JomezPro Founders Club, we're out of here. We'll see you guys the next time, and thank you so much for tuning in.